Over the past couple of years, I've been renovating my 300-year-old house room by room, and in every room in this place, I've pretty much just had one main goal: make it cozy. So in today's video, we're going to try and achieve that goal once again, this time in the bedroom, with a little help from today's sponsor, Fiverr. Now, last time you all saw the bedroom on here, it probably looked something like this. The walls were stripped back, rebuilt, and then properly insulated. They were previously only insulated with polystyrene, which is not good. They were then plasterboarded and given a first coat of paint. Just a quick note, I know that some people get a bit raging at me for covering up these old stone walls and insulating them. If I didn't do that and just left them exposed, then I would end up winning the world record for moldiest house in the world, and that's just not something I want. With all of that work done, I was left with a blank, very uncozy canvas, so we needed to get that sorted using my top secret 3-step process. Not really actually that top secret. Step 1 was looking at Pinterest for ideas. For most of this renovation, I've tried to go with a blend of modern cottage and Scandinavian styles to get this comfortable, calm and cozy feeling. I then measured up the room and made a little diagram of how I thought these ideas could be incorporated, and handing them off to the professionals over at Fiverr. If you're not already familiar with Fiverr, it's a website where you can hire freelancers from all over the world to do pretty much any digital service you need. There are honestly too many services to mention, but I've personally used Fiverr for things like getting 3D renders done when I was planning my kitchen and living room, getting some help with video editing, and I even got some designers to make little graphics for my YouTube banner and some custom emojis of my cat Junior for my channel members. So it's a very useful website, and if you like the designs that I show in this video and want to use the designers yourself, I'll drop a link to them down below along with a discount code that you can use. So for this project, I wanted to use 3D artists specifically because this way I could see what different types of furniture and decor actually looked like in the space before buying it. I hired 3 different designers at a couple of different price points just to get a sort of variety of different ideas, but also to see if spending a bit more money on a designer actually ends up getting you much better designs. So let's find out. So the first design I got was from a guy called Omar, who is an architect from Egypt, and he was the cheapest at $100. I actually didn't give Omar too much direction on this at all, so I don't feel like this turned out as cozy as I would have liked. I didn't tell him I was going to be putting carpet in here, so he went with wood flooring, which can be a bit harsh if you don't have enough soft furnishing to kind of offset that. I think if he'd put a thicker rug under the bed and added some curtains, it would have made the room quite a bit more cozy. The plant in the corner worked well with the wooden flooring, and I did really like the contrast and colour he did on the built-in cupboard and shelves. I wasn't too wild about the mirror being here, but that's useful to know, and I'm honestly a bit spooked by shelves right above your bed. I read a story once about someone who had shelves above their bed and they had books, and a Bible fell off and hit them in the eye and blinded them. So that's a bit scary. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. Overall though, Omar's designs gave me some really good ideas on how to fill out the room. It just could have been a little bit cozier. Next up we have Max's designs. He's an architect and engineer from Ukraine who I've actually used quite a few times now, and he was only slightly more expensive at $105. So Max added the carpet I was planning to put in and also added some curtains, so I felt this was much closer to the warm and cozy angle I was hoping for. I much preferred the placement of the mirror over here, but I wondered if it might be a bit of a risk having the wardrobe opening towards the mirror, as the doorknob might break the glass if I accidentally swung it open too fast or too far. Pretty sure that's like 7 years of bad luck. There would be books flying at my eyes from all angles if that happened. I really like what he did with the wardrobe doors, in that they were the same as the shaker style doors that I have in my kitchen with that kind of edge paneling, and I think that's very in keeping with the cottage style angle I was hoping for, so this definitely solidified that design choice in this room. Finally, we have the designs from our most expensive designer, John. He cost $320, and to be honest, these were my favourite. In line with the price, I do feel like the quality of his order was a little bit higher. I could just tell from the renders. His order also came with a few different extras. It came with the renders, 2D plans, links for where I could buy some of the things that he suggested and put in the render, and a 360-degree rendering so that I could feel like I was standing in the room. I really liked some of the small details that he did, like the oversized bedding which hangs off the edge of the bed. I think that just makes the room feel a bit more soft and cozy. And I felt like the furnishings and decor were all very cohesive. The bedside tables and the lamps that he chose had a bit of a mid-century modern look, which I think linked up really well. And the art above the bed matched the greenery of the plant that he put in, so that kind of made me want to go with that style of painting above my bed. Ultimately, the most expensive designs that I got from John were the ones that I liked the best and what to use as my main inspiration for the actual room transformation. So let's get started with that. So the first jobs were painting the walls and putting down the carpets. For the paint, I used Lick Pro just because I really like their paints, the quality of it, the coverage is excellent, and I really like the descriptions that they give on their website. I feel like they're very accurate to the actual results. So for this, I used Greige 01, and the description of this on their website was cozy and grounding, which I feel it was. I then added the carpets. Well, I didn't. The carpet fitter did, and me stroking the carpet there, that was me trying to kind of convey how thick and deep pile the carpet was. I'm not just in the habit of stroking my carpets, don't worry. So the reason I went with quite a deep carpet was because I do have a downstairs neighbour in this house. I've said this before, this place is actually an upstairs flat with just one downstairs neighbour and no upstairs neighbour. So I wanted to put in quite a deep carpet with a thick underlay so that I could block the noise coming up from my downstairs neighbour, but also block the noise going down so that I don't annoy them too much as well. After I got the bed made up and built, my mum then made me a window seat cushion. I didn't really like the look of the window just kind of being left bare wood, and my mum had made me a window seat cushion in my previous place, the tiny house, which turned out really well. I think it just kind of like softens up the place, adds a cozy element to a place which wouldn't usually be that cozy, and then also gives you an additional seating area, which is always useful. So here's me test driving the window seat cushion. Perfect. Sorting out the window area a little bit more, the next job was adding the curtains. In the renders that I got made, the curtains were either non-existent in the case of Omar, or just very kind of light and not that thick when it was Max's and John's. So I wanted to go with a much thicker curtain than this. One, to keep in the heat because it's very cold in Scotland, and also to kind of block out the noise from the road, and also just to make it thicker. I think it makes it a bit cozier. Having kind of airy, light, kind of silky curtains that are maybe a bit see-through, I just don't really feel it lends to the kind of heavy, soft furnishings angle that I was trying to pursue to make this place a bit more cozy. I then added some shelves and a couple of little side units. I found it very hard to find some side units or side tables that actually suited the room, but I was really happy with these. These were some oak ones that I got from a kind of wood furniture shop up near me. Well, it's like an hour away from me in Perthshire. I think it's in Aberfeldy. It's called Spirit in Wood. So if you're near me, if you're near that area, I would highly recommend them. I was really happy with these. And then I just added a couple of little fabric lamps from H&M. I was kind of surprised with how much good stuff is in the H&M home. So if you're looking for furnishings, I'd highly recommend them. They have lots of little cool trinkets and knickknacks to fill out the house. Just kind of shite. I found that that's kind of the secret ingredient to making a room sort of more cozy and kind of personalised. It's just kind of a secret ingredient. It's just to add random shit. I don't think that's going to appear in any Architectural Digest guides, but I've found that it certainly does help. I then put the mirror in this corner of the room. I was kind of debating about putting it next to the wardrobe, but I felt like there was a risk of it accidentally cracking. And then I put a little lamp behind it as well, just to see if it made it look kind of interesting, having that cozy warm lighting when the main big light was off, and I think it looks alright. I'd probably get a better, longer light there. This is Stuart, this is the joiner that I'm using now. I went to school with him, he was in the year above me. My mum taught him when he was at primary school, and he's just done a class job throughout. So this is him fitting the doors, or the door, but he did lots of cool little custom bespoke things for me in this room and in the office, so I'm very happy with the job he's been doing for me. And this was the art that I went for. I find art very hard to pick, pictures very hard to pick when I'm framing them and putting them in my room. I kind of always want something that's like nostalgic, that reminds me of something. So for this I went with Van Gogh's Riverside in the Springtime. It's called something like that, River in the Spring. And the reason I picked this is because I feel like it looks so similar to a picture that one of my friends took of me and my brother and one of his friends like 10 years ago when we went out on a summer's day. I think it looks very, very similar, so reminds me of that and I like it. I couldn't pick one in time for this video being made for the other side of the room, so I just reused one from the living room. I'll need to spend some time thinking about this one. I am thinking that I need to add another one over to the left of this one I'm putting up here, like above the built-in shelves, but I couldn't pick one in time, and it was kind of only in hindsight that I realised that I needed something else to fill up this bare bit of wall. So I don't know, maybe a big live, laugh, love decal here. This is the built-in shelves that Stuart made where there used to be a fireplace. This is him making one in the office, which is the other bedroom. He just kind of built this and put it in, and did the same thing in the bedroom. So once again, this is the office that I'm showing you right now, but I didn't have any footage of him making the one in the bedroom that I was decorating a second ago. Just to kind of give him his props, I want to show that there. Again, this is me putting my just fill your room with random shite tip into practice. Nothing in these shelves is really that functional or going to be used. It's just kind of odd bits here and there that I filled up, and then I put a couple of these little sticky spotlights just so that you could see all of the random stuff that I'm never going to use. Once again, my secret tip of just filling places with nonsense. Shelves are just one place that you just do have to fill with nonsense, so just a mixture of candles, little succulent plants, some colourful matches that my brother got me, and this was my best Christmas present that my mum got me, this tiny little ceramic cat. Very happy with that. Best present of the year. One of the very final jobs was Stuart coming back to make the wardrobe doors for the bedroom. So for the smaller wardrobe he just made one door, and then for the bigger one he made two kind of opening ones, and honestly it turned out so good. Like, they turned out better than I expected, exactly like what Max had put in his render, very close to what I have already in the kitchen. So once these were painted up, it just looked perfect. I was very happy with it. The room just came together so well. I'm delighted with the custom bits that Stuart did for me. I don't know if I said, but my mum used to teach him. When she was a primary school teacher and he was at primary school, she said he was just always very helpful. If there was a job needing done, Stuart got it done. So it's nice to see that that has continued into later life and that he's now doing a grand job for me. So to round things up, this was the before, looking very cold, miserable, not very joyous, not very cozy at all. And once we transformed it, implemented all of the ideas that the guys over at Fiverr suggested, this is how things turned out. I think it looks really good. I'm very happy with how cozy it's feeling. I'm happy with how cohesive the colours are. I think the kind of neutral colours that I've chosen for a lot of the soft furnishings go quite nicely with the paint that I added from Lick. Again, that was Greyjo 1. Obviously I wouldn't have the big light on in this room, so here's what it looks like with just the lamps on. I think it looks very cozy, and I'm just very happy with how it all turned out. So if you want to hire the same designers that I used and want to recreate this vibe, then I'll leave a link to all of their pages down below, and if you use the code PATCHY10 you'll get 10% off your first order. If you enjoyed this video, I'd greatly appreciate it if you leave a like and subscribe for more. I'll be back soon with lots more renovation videos. I've sort of been bulking them up. Bulking them up? That's a weird expression, but I've been making them in the background this last little while. So I'll be back soon, all bulked up for you. What a strange thing to say.